significant?
Rob, we talked about this yesterday, the vaccination. And there's a, small number of players, let me put it this way, a small but significant, right, number of players in the NFL who still are refusing to be vaccinated, choosing not to, and some big names. Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, we think Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, and some others that we may not even know about. And Jacksonville Jaguars coach, first-year coach, Urban Meyer, said yesterday, Rob, of course, that was the day.
And we mentioned it. You remember? We mentioned it briefly yesterday.
Yep. They had to cut the rosters down, about 30 players they cut. And Urban Meyer and his GM, Trent Baalke, they admitted, or Meyer admitted, that he and Baalke took a player's vaccination status into consideration. Here's the quote they said. Everyone was considered. That was part of the production. Let's start talking about this. And also, is he vaccinated or not? Can I say that was a decision maker? It was certainly in consideration. And Rob, I'm gonna give you my opinion, but first let me finish with this news. Meyer's comments drew the ire of the NFL Players Association.
And rightfully so. That's what a Players Association, Chris, and a Players Union is supposed to do. I've been critical of the NFL's Players Association. We both have, right? Because they don't have a lot of the stuff that they're supposed to have.
They don't have a lot
for
of
their
juice.
players.
Yes.
Exactly. So they should look into it when you see those comments.
Right. And what their quote is, it's led us to open up an investigation. Now, for what it's worth, Bill Belichick was asked yesterday, or this morning, I should say, if the fact that Cam Newton was unvaccinated played any role in his being cut, and he said no. Of course, he was going to say no because the news was already out, right, that the NFLPA was looking into it.
Oh, yeah. No, you didn't want to say that. I agree with you.
But here's what I'm going to say, Rob. First of all, I think Urban Meyer, he was just being honest. Like, let's just keep it real. How could you not take it into consideration? It doesn't have to be first on the list. I'm sure it wasn't first on the list.
But
probably wasn't second or third.
Right. But if they were of equal talent,
right?
And you look at two guys. Now we're not kidding ourselves.
You're battling for the 49th and 50th spot?
Right.
A special team spot?
Are not crazy into thinking that a star quarterback is going to get cut or not taken because he has it. Because
the names we just mentioned, none of them are in jeopardy.
Right.
None of them are in jeopardy.
Exactly. They're not, oh, no, we can't take you with a team. Because they can play. But if there's somebody who's like, well, he could make the team, but this other tight end, Chris, is just as good. He's vaccinated. We don't have to worry about him getting other players infected and you know what I mean, or whatever.
Yep.
I think that's how people look at it.
Because here's the deal. It's not, whatever side of this debate you're on, it's undeniable, even if it's only because of the way the NFL set up the rules. We think, Rob and I certainly think it's more than that. But if you just want to say it's only because of the rules, the fact is that the unvaccinated player has a greater chance of missing games.
Right.
Than the vaccinated player.
Even if the vaccinated player gets it.
Right.
Again. Right. Gets it, Chris. Right.
And that's what it boils down to. I've got to pick the player, if they're close, like Rob said, that's going to be there. We always talk about availability is the best ability. This is a collision sport. Guys are getting hurt all the time. If I'm going to pick some backups, the backup better be ready to go when I need him. And so I think Urban Meyer was just being honest. And I agree with you, Rob. That's the union's job. What I would say, though, is the union, if they have issues with things like this, they should have taken care of that when they made these agreements. Now, maybe, I guess, is it in the agreement, Rob G, get in this? Is it in the agreement that you couldn't take a player's vaccination or status into account as far as cuts?
I doubt that that's in the CBA.
No, they put a form at the end of their agreement that was very vague on purpose that said basically we can cut you for any reason.
Okay, there we go.
That was their protection.
So see, Rob, that's my point, Rob, is if the Players Association, the time to really jump bad is when you put together the agreement, right?
Right.
It's not really now. Because at the end of the day, right, if the contract is what it is, then it's going to stand. So this could be them just kind of, posturing or trying to save face or trying to make their unvaccinated players, think they're looking out for
They're going to just stick out their chest, Chris, even if nothing comes of it. You know what I mean? To just say, well, we got your back. We're the union. This is the way, and you know this. You paying into the union, your union dues, you want to feel like there's something coming out of it. They're working, and it's not just for them to fly around the country and stay at fancy hotels and have steak dinners all over the place,
Yep. So it's just as simple as that, folks. And we know we have listeners on both sides, and we're fine with all you guys. Everybody's got the right to do what they want to do.
Right.
But it's just flat out, it's undeniable at this point that you're going to have a more risk of missing games if you're not vaccinated.
Because what the end, it's not that you won't get it again, Chris. It's the people who are, the severity of when you get it is lessened if you're vaccinated, if you do indeed get it again. Get it, I should say, not again, but get it. If you're not vaccinated, you could be on a ventilator, Chris. You could be back in a emergency room. You could be in a hospital, right? You could get it to that degree. And those are the people who are in hospitals. What they say, like 90% of the people who have to go to the hospital with this are people who aren't vaccinated. That's not politics. Those are the stats. Those are the numbers.
Right. And so it is what it is. And we talked about this with Cam Newton, who everybody's wondering, where's he going next? Rob, I tend to believe now, do I think it played perhaps a small, tiny role in what the Patriots did with Cam? Maybe, like you said, if it's a situation of, we can get by without him. And hey, you know what? He's not vaccinated either. You know what I mean? Does it play maybe a small role? Okay, sure. But I tell you what, if I'm a team that's looking at backups now, he got to get vaccinated for me.
Yeah, no, I to bring him in, not be vaccinated, have the chance of an outbreak or something happening with your team and missing games or whatever, it's a worry. Remember, it's only 17 weeks. Right. It ain't a baseball season, Chris. You know what I mean? That's it.
And look at how many guys. Lamar got it. Cam got it last year. Cousins, they've all gotten it, or at least had to be in protocol, right? And so it's
once
going
you get
to
it,
happen.
doesn't mean you can't get it again. That's the other thing.
Right.
You can get it again.
Right. So, I don't know that, Meyer will probably, I don't know if any ruling's been made yet, Rob G, but, he may get a fine or slap on the wrist or something. But I think he was just being honest. And I think the Players Association, they're going to try to fight this, but I don't think they have much of a leg to stand on if they didn't put it in the agreement beforehand. So